Hello everyone, welcome to Toad Probe again. The Beast and myself are in the swamp. As the mists rise, we're joined swampside by Anna Maria Arabia, who's the CEO of S.T.A. Recently changed its name. We won't go back to what it was called. But the Beast, you've got a question.
I do have a question, Anna Maria. Now, part of the S.T.A.'s remit is to get people to encourage them to respect the science. Other than saying respect the science quite a lot, how can you get people to respect the science?
What we're really asking the public to do is to take some time to understand how science is done, how science is generated. And when people understand just how robust the peer review process is, it requires scientists to test their ideas and test them again before they put those ideas into the public domain through the published scientific literature. We can have confidence that that peer-reviewed science is really robust and we're able to make decisions based on it. So we're really asking the public to understand just how science is done. And indeed on our website, on Science and Technology Australia's website and on respectthescience.org.au, there's a little video clip where you can have a look at how understand how science is done, and we're speaking to politicians, we're speaking to communities and asking them just to have a look at these sort of things.
And if you went round with a PowerPoint presentation, what would your top three sort of examples or lead-off points be? Because it's very easy to say respect the science,
sure,
but then you've got to kind of unpack that for people who think, oh, well, yeah, sure, she can say that, but I don't really want it.
Yeah, we help people understand how ideas are tested. Well, firstly, how they're generated, then how they're tested, how that is compared and contrast to the body of knowledge that's already out there, published and then tested again. And one really important thing that people are able to understand when they look at that presentation on our website is just how much confidence they can have in the scientific results. And we speak about what uncertainty means in scientific terms and what confidence they can have when they read about scientific results and therefore feel able to make decisions based on that.
Now, your job's made doubly difficult when you've got the People's Peer, Lord Monckton, roaming the country with a very, climate-denying message. And then, of course, on the other hand, you've got Greenpeace flattening crops that the CSI are experimenting with. Between these two extremes, it's hard to chart a middle road of caution.
Feels like scientists are being attacked left, right and centre, that's for sure. And extreme action, we all know, is counterproductive. So if you're killing a scientific experiment by tearing down some wheat crops, you're not really letting the science get on and answer the questions that we need answered. Equally, if you're telling the public that science is crap and that we shouldn't believe the science as Lord Monckton does, I guess you're generating some uncertainty and fear. And at the end of the day, you're not allowing people to take the best information available, and that's a peer-reviewed science to form their decisions on.
I like to get my science from radio shock jocks because they have a lot of producers working very hard to find their science.
I recommend CSIRO.
Right. Why does the public accept scientific information, in fact, in certain areas, but in climate change, well, the rabbit's well out of the hat, if you know what I mean?
I think that's a really good question. I think they're just a little scared and confused, and that's why we ask them to understand how science is done. Climate science is confusing. There's a lot of information to absorb, and it's all been tangled up in the carbon tax debate. But if we just separate those two issues, climate science, like any other form of science, is as valid and information we can trust. Why is it that people trust the Bureau of Meteorology when they told Anna Bligh to tell people to evacuate or to bunker down during Cyclone Yasi at the beginning of the year? But the Bureau of Meteorology produces the same sort of information to tell us about climate change. And it's not a belief system, it's an evidence base, and it's an evidence base we need to accept.
And then taking that to its sort of stupidity, people who are in this area are often threatened. And I don't quite get that either. Why is it so easy to get so stupid that you end up thinking, oh, we'd rather bump that person off?
Yeah, I think it's scaremongering, and I think those sort of extreme behaviours should be condemned. They're unacceptable. It's not how we do business here in Australia. And anything extreme, I think, is a little unhealthy. I think we should be encouraging people to understand and make decisions on that understanding, and that's what Respect the Science is about.
So you're saying to me, perhaps, Dan, you should stop writing messages on bricks and stop throwing them through your window?
I reckon that's a great idea.
I'm really sorry about that.
No worries.
And that's a very positive note to leave this Toad Probe on. Thanks to Anna Maria and the Beast, and we'll be on the Probe and Lurk near you soon with a brick and a message.
No, we've got to stop doing that.
No, I know.
I'm just going to send it to
Well, I'm going back to it, bugger it.